whenever the per capita income fell, the per capita income expenditure fell faster than the per capita income fall, and the per capita savings fell at a rate lesser than the per capita income fall. That means it said the expenditure gets adjusted whether the income is more or less, but the savings remains the same. Not only the quantum of savings, the quality of saving, safe savings. People not going to stock market. Again, the Indian family system and the Indian women are responsible because they don't allow the husbands to go to the stock market. Any more than they will allow him to go to horse racing. This is a fact of all family-oriented economies. There is a cultural foundation of economy. This you can see in Germany, this you can see in Spain, this you can see in Italy. France is a little out of the way. In the last 20 years, France has ceased to be a family-based society. And all the Asian societies, you can see this quality of not going to the stock market as the primary form of investment. So, if India is decoupled from the rest of the world, now you can ask me, your stock market went to 20,500, I'll give you the statistics, you know. In the year 2004 October, the total foreign FII investment into stock market was $27 billion. From 1993 to 2004, in 11 years, it was only $27 billion. In the next 4 years, from 2004 October to 2008 October, it goes up by $40 billion in just 4 years. And the stock market goes from 5,800 in 2004 October to 20,500 in January 2008. And just the foreigners pull $11 billion out. It comes back to 10,000 and less. So it is not our stock market. We only provided the playground for somebody to come and play. And if some of us are unintelligent to get lost in the game, it's not a national loss. In fact, I tell you how much the foreigners have lost in this as the flip side. The total foreign FII investment market value in October last year was $251 billion on an investment of $67 billion. Today their investment cost is $56 billion and the market value of their investment is $45 billion. They have lost. The point I am wanting to make is that the stock market and partially the currency market is the only integrating factor with the rest of the world. Because capital account convertibility is there, the full currency market is not under the grip of the foreigners or foreign forces. In India, a very large part of the Indian economy is in a way decoupled from the world. In fact, yesterday, I was discussing with an American friend of mine, an Indian who has settled in America and has started this IT-enabled services, call centers. I asked him now what is the market. He told me something very different from what appears in the media. He said in America there is pressure on me to increase the Indian capacity because American companies cannot operate the American market under the stress conditions unless they offshore their jobs even more. I said, no, Obama says he will not. He said, then he has to offshore America itself. You know why? You accustom people to easy life. It is not possible to maintain it that way. In India, car production will go down. According to me, two-wheeler production will not go down. Cycle production will increase. You can understand, it's a diversified economy. If there are only car users in India, and they have all borrowed money and bought cars, they have all borrowed money and bought houses, and when the economy goes down, the cars will be returned to the financier, houses will be returned to financiers. And you know, 2.1 million families in America are living in garages and in cars. I don't want to go greater into American statistics. It's a horrendous statistics. You know, when the American housing boom began in 1995, the amount of house properties in surplus, you will be amazed to know, the total number of house properties, the total occupied houses in the owner as renter occupied houses in the year 1996 was about 98 million, and the unoccupied houses were 13 million in the year 1995. Unoccupied houses by the renter or the owner, and the housing boom starts there. You know why? Without housing boom, the American economy would have reached precisely where it is today by 2001. They begin giving money artificially. Buy houses, buy mortgages. The house values go up. And in 2005, the total number of houses occupied is 108 million. And the total unoccupied houses were 16 million, a 3 million increase. And in this period, the house values rise by 4 times in several areas. And the ratio of housing value to GDP from 100%, it rises to 156%. Housing has overawed the society. Falls rise in the value of the houses. I don't mind house values rising falsely. For example, I buy a house at 25 lakhs and my house value go up to 1 crore. I am very happy about it. But in America, I buy the house at 25 lakhs not with my money. It is with the bank's money. And when it rises in the next 4 years to 100 lakhs, 1 crore, I have paid in that period about 4 or 5 lakhs. So there is a debt of 20 lakhs outstanding on a value which the market has given of 100 lakhs. Then the bank comes to me and says, you have an equity of 80 lakhs. I will lend money against it. What am I going to do? Don't worry, just 2%. You take the money. First 2 years, I won't even charge any interest. You take it. What will I do with it? You know. Then the banks begin to sell in association with tourists. You know Macau? It's a beautiful place. You have never gone. If you don't take, your marriage will collapse. Your wife will be very happy if you take. 40 lakhs you spend. What is wrong about it? That is how people were made to spend money. People were turned into insolvents. The problem in America is the Indian women remain women. In America, women have also become men. Actually, it is a highly masculinized society, aggressive society. There is no moderation in that society. And that immoderate economics, profligate economics, expenditure-driven economics was held out as the model for the world. And I can tell you, if there is any indication that India will not accept the American way of life, you can find how the ICICI Bank has sold off its consumer lending division because it knows the Indian consumers will not borrow beyond a point. You cannot have consumer-led banking system in India. Why I am pointing it out is fundamentally we are a very different nation. There is a feminine orientation to the Indian economy. There is moderation. There is lack of aggression. And it is a very sustained model. And we will have shocks, we will have problems in certain areas, but I can assure you, if there is any economy which will bounce back sooner in the world, it will be the Indian economy. It is because our consumption economy is safe. 10 days back, the State Bank of India chairman spoke to CNN TV 18 or whatever that. He said we are getting depositors queuing up to deposit money at the rate of 1,000 crore every day. Every day. This should have been in the front pages of all newspapers. This would have put up the brand of India. In America, the idea is how to give 1,000 crore every day to American families to make them go to market. You know, Paul Krugman, who always opposed this kind of leverage economy, the moment he was given the Nobel Prize, he went on the television, he wrote an article, forget about Dow Jones, it may fall or rise. You go to the market and spend money and buy, and that is the only way you can be happy and nation will be happy. As if he was given the Nobel Prize only to say this. Nobel Prize, the opinion generating model. In the year 1970, because from this you can understand the derivative trading and leveraging also you can understand. In the year 1970, one economist by name Black, he developed a theory that by borrowing more money and investing less of your own money, you will be able to make more profit on your own money, provided the interest rate is low. Understand this. The lower interest rate is to benefit equity and to prejudice the lender, prejudice the saver, prejudice the families. And so this low interest rate regime is an American invention, American universalization. So they said that the theory was being expounded and expounded, refined and refined. In the year 1994, it was called Black and Scholes model. Anybody who's familiar in the Institute of Management will know this is one of the foremost investment theories. So they said that you can leverage, you can borrow more money at lesser rate of interest, and if the return on capital is more, then you can give 10 times, 20 times return on our equity. And this is a risk-free model. This is what they said. And Robert Murden and Myron Scholes, who expounded this model, they joined one long-term capital management. Many bankers stood in queue to give fund to that LTCM because they were issuing 30% return on the investment. And for 4 years they did give 30% investment. Robert Merton, Myron Scholes were the advisors and directors. And in the year 1998, this Black and Scholes model was given Nobel Prize. So Myron Scholes and Robert Merton got 4 crores each. They were so happy that they got the money. But they said, when others are making money with our theory, why don't we put money and multiply this money? They put the money in LTCM. In the 6th month, the LTCM collapsed. And $4.8 billion was the bailout package. I tell you, if the world had not if America had not bailed out LTCM, this crisis would not have occurred, because world would have known how dangerous leveraging is even at that time. But they completely, all the vested interests joined together, buried this, called to the bank and said, keep quiet, because this will finish the whole banking system. LTCM was put aside. And the 2 people, they went back to teaching, which is their profession. Till today, whether it is IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Bangalore, Black and Scholes model is being taught even today. So you can understand how frivolous. It is a house of cards waiting to collapse. If it did not collapse, it was only because it was a gentle breeze. Now, the biggest problem we always faced is that this model will not be suitable to India. Now it has been proved it is not suitable even for America. So nobody will disturb us today when we stand up and call anybody for a debate. Nobody is willing for a debate with us today. All this gung-ho liberalization, globalization, which was based on just cliches, with no practical work done, no research done, no ground-level comparisons done. The biggest social security safety net in India is the family and the community mechanism. That's why for 7 lakh villages in India, you have just 12,404 police stations. When I mentioned this in University of California, Los Angeles, they didn't believe it. You don't need a state to intermediate between Indians and Indians. The crime rate in India is the lowest in the world and highest in US. UNDP, Human Development Report says this. All that we need to understand the strength of India is knowledge about India. No Indian media, no Indian educational institution, no Indian debate spreads knowledge about India among Indians. That's why we are not able to understand that we have a very distinct economic model in operation. We have high savings, but safe savings. We have low risk savings. We have low consumption, but our consumption is not low as compared to America. 70% of the American GDP is driven by American consumption. 68% of the Indian consumption drives Indian GDP. It was 70% in 2004. It is not less now, but our income is more, and so our expenditure is proportionately less. It is not that the Indians spend less, but we don't borrow and spend. We rejected an economist who for 5,000 years back, his name is Charuvaka. He told us that you borrow and spend. He said, if we are not able to repay, don't worry about it. Sir, if we don't repay, our karma will increase, we will incur sin. He said, only fools have told you all this, don't believe all this. You borrow and spend and be happy. 5,000 years before we got this advice, we rejected that advice 5,000 years back. But 5,000 years later, Americans accepted this advice, and that is why they are in And thanks to them, the world is in difficulties. We are partly in difficulties. The export sector will be affected for 2 years. It will get adjusted over a period of 2 years. They have enjoyed enormous amount of profit for 5 years. Last year has been quite bad. So for 2 years to manage it is not a problem. The software sector, according to me, should be affected because you can't have 1:40 ratio in salaries. So naturally, if the software companies in India begin servicing the Indian companies, I am aware of Indian software companies servicing Indians who will not be able to pay 30 or 40% of the salary of the companies which are servicing foreigners. It is not that we don't have IT services need for India, but we will not be able to afford it at that cost. So it is only salary adjustment in IT, because we will require enormous amount of IT services now. And in my view, the production sector, except in the case of automobiles, high-end automobiles, will receive a setback for the next 3 to 8 months, 9 months. Consumption sector in India may be partly affected by inflation. Will pick up when the busy season commences. And I am of the view that in India there is no problem of solvency, it is really a problem of liquidity. All that I want the Indian businessmen, Indian professionals is to maintain confidence. Confidence can be easily destroyed by saying something is wrong with America, but you must understand it is wrong with America, it is not wrong with us. And I am extremely happy that all of you listen to me patiently. In one evening discussion, you will not be able to complete the entire topic, so I have been able to give only the contours of the idea I wanted to present. I am extremely thankful to all of you.